Letitia's early career established several health service organizations which serve Black communities in Canada, such as Taibu, Community Health Center, and Africans in Partnership Against AIDS, or APA. She developed and served for 2 decades as the Executive Director of Women's Health and Women's Hands Community Health Center. Letitia has consulted globally with the United Nations Social Development Forum on Racism and its impacts on workforces. She's considered one of Canada's leading experts in developing equity, responsive organizations, and her research and advocacy have pushed Canadian institutions to address anti-Black racism and the collection of race-based data. Letitia was recently named one of the most influential Torontonians by Toronto Life magazine, and she's also the 2023 recipient of the YWCA Women Award for Leadership. Letitia.
Anything that I accomplish now is because of everybody at Women's Health and Women's Hands, in particular the clients of Women's Health and Women's Hands, who give us the opportunity every day to be the best that we can be as service providers. And so I'm always grateful for that blessing in many years at Women's Health and Women's Hands. Just to let you know what I'm doing now, as Lorianne said, one of my main projects is the Black Health Equity Lab. And the purpose of that lab is to continue on the research that we started at Women's Health and Women's Hands. So I'm never leaving. I will always be with this organization. I will always support this organization. But it's also very important to understand, as you are going to hear over the next 2 days, and what you've heard already this morning, the importance of us taking control over our own situations and developing our own projects and our own research, particularly for Black people. One of the things we want to understand about health disparities is that those differences in health outcomes are absolutely unjust, they are unnecessary, they are absolutely avoidable, and they are caused by systemic inequality, not by anything we have done differently, not by anything we deserve, but they are absolutely because of an unjust system that we are trying to navigate, particularly as racialized people.
So we are going to be revisiting our community guidelines. We talked about them yesterday, but we want to talk about them again today. All right, so the first one is respectful communication. We ask that all participants communicate with each other in a respectful and compassionate manner. This means actively listening to each other, refraining from interrupting or talking over each other, and being mindful of our tone and body language. Number 2, creating a safe space. We ask that all participants respect each other's boundaries and refrain from engaging in any behavior that may be perceived as disrespectful or harmful. This includes harassment, discrimination, or any other form of violence. Number 3, fostering inclusivity. We ask that all participants actively work towards creating an inclusive space where all voices are heard and valued. This means being open-minded, empathetic, and respectful of diverse perspectives and experiences. Number 4, supporting each other. We ask that all participants support each other in their healing journeys by being present, compassionate, and non-judgmental. This includes respecting each other's privacy and confidentiality and refraining from sharing any information or stories without explicit consent. Number 5, engage in active listening. Listen to understand and ask open-ended questions to encourage dialogue and empathy. Respect others' experiences and perspectives, even if you do not agree with them. Number 6, embrace diversity and inclusion. Celebrate and appreciate diversity in all its forms, including differences in cultural backgrounds, perspectives, beliefs, and identities. Strive for equality and inclusivity in all interactions. Number 7, be open to learning. Number 8, share your experiences and perspectives. Number 9, encourage participation. Let's encourage everyone to participate and contribute to the community. Provide opportunities for people to share their skills, talents, and create inclusive environment that values and recognizes different and diverse contributions. And lastly, practice self-care. Encourage attendees to practice self-care, including taking breaks and setting boundaries.
Hi, I'm Shanice. I'm one of the peer workers on the IPF-Project that we did, and this is the ending of our project with the 2-day conference. Over the past 2 days, we were really able to bring in people from the community who were part of the project from different communities across the GTA. And I think the conference offered a healing space for those to share their experience, be with other racialized women, and know that there's a circle and a sisterhood within all of us, from those that are professionally in the field, peer-led support, or just those that wanting to be an ally within that community. The project itself, as I mentioned, I was one of the peer workers, so we were able to create infographics and do outreach and really change the language around racialized women not being hesitant around vaccination, but to really instill in them the information that they might have not been able to access due to different paths that they were given, such as community, housing, healthcare, accessibility in their communities, and different things like that. So we changed the language to make sure and support them that way, as well as we created town halls that were virtual. We did digital stories to be left on our YouTube page. And then again, at the end, we did this conference to bring a mutual space and interactive space for those as well. I really enjoyed my time on this project, and I hope to continue the work afterwards.
When we're activated, when we're scared, when we're sad, when we're upset, when we're just not in a good space, we're floating somewhere in our head, we're up in our head telling ourselves a story, or we're just not present with what's with care. So grounding is a way to come into contact with the ground, the earth, supports, sustains, nurtures, and holds us. So grounding is just taking and making space to check in with yourself. So noticing your feet. So when I invite you right now, you don't have to close your eyes. We're not doing anything hokey or, this is really us just coming into contact with Mother Earth and all her nourishing energies. So just notice in this moment, those of you who are sitting at a table with someone, you don't have to close your eyes, but just pull your gaze down. And if pulling your gaze down, what you're saying to yourself is, I'm gonna pull in right now. So I got up, I had to deal with the children, I had to deal with the pets, I had to deal with the people in transit, whatever, but in this moment, right here, right now, coming into presence with me. So pull your gaze in and just notice. Track. Notice, you don't have to tell me or anybody in this room, how am I doing right now? Really, really. Noticing physically what's going on in your body. And whatever you notice, it's okay. No judging, I don't have to fix it, I don't have to push it away. It's your reality, it's your physical truth in this moment. You just want to come into presence and awareness with it.
I'm Candice. The past 2 days have been amazing. It's been nice connecting with the whole group. It's always nice when we come together, because it doesn't matter how the week was or how the year's been. It's just nice connecting together as peer outreach workers. And yeah, it's nice hearing people from different backgrounds, people you aspire to. So I really enjoyed just taking it all in and being with the other peers. So, yeah.
Today we are going to really look at envisioning our feminist futures. What future do we want to have after the pandemic? What futures are we building? As I said yesterday, in the context of looking at recovery and thinking about it and really reflecting, do we want to recover? What do we want to recover? Or should we just rebuild a new future?
So I want to start my conversation with you in the words of Zora Neale Hurston, in her most influential book, which is titled Their Eyes Were Watching God, from 1937. And she says, there are ears that ask questions and ears that answer. And the reason I brought that quote to all of you is that 2020, the beginning of 2020, it was around this time of the year, in March, we were crashed with the knowledge and the information that the pandemic was on our shores. Some of us were already kind of getting news from back home, knowing that it was causing difficulties where other people were living, and then now it was here. I think many of us, and I was one of them, in December of 2019, I was looking at the news and actually almost questioning it with skepticism, and I was very skeptical. Like, this can't happen here. Like, I don't understand that people are closing borders, people are closing cities, and there was this feeling, right, like that, what is this? This is not real. And then soon enough, it came crashing to us, and we were told that you have to close down everything, and we were told that you have to stay at home. And there was this magic wand solution that was thrown at us, that all of you can work from home supposedly, and all of you can do things over the Zoom, and now the world can continue over the technology. And was it really real? We know it was not, because many of us did not have the privilege of being able to do our jobs on Zoom. Many of us, especially from racialized and marginalized communities, did not have that internet. We did not have those devices. I'm standing in front of you with 2 devices. If one doesn't work, I make sure the other one works. That's the privilege that I carry with me, right? But that's not the privilege that everyone has. And I think that's the conversation, that curiosity, that question that I brought to my work when I was told that you have to close the clinic down. And even before we were declared an essential service, the rebel in me said, I'm not going to close the clinic unless and until you make me close the clinic. You have to actually come physically to ask me to close it down. I'm not closing it, because as a leader of an organization that works with marginalized folks, I knew if we close the doors, there will be a percentage of clients who will not be able to access services, because knocking on the door and coming in person is the only option that we have. So the clinic, right from the beginning, took that position that we will actually not close our doors, but we will also very quickly start learning on how to do these online services.
I have what in Kenya we say every woman who's rescuing people should have. It's a lesson. And I have to really explain this. This is the thing that we give every Kenyan, every event, funerals, marriages. It's multi-purpose. You carry children, you put on your head, you tie around your waist when things happen, you run around, and they always come with the same. This one is written, Mama nipe mema niishi vyema. Mother, give me good things so that I can live well. And a nice bag, so you can always carry things when you have to go save people, because you always
Hi, I'm Grace. So I'm on the IPF team, one of the peer workers with Women's Health and Women's Hands. And together we put together this conference, and the last 2 days of the conference have been really great. On day 1, we really dived into the effect of COVID and the pandemic on racialized communities. And now day 2, we're looking at what it means to recover or transform in order to create brighter futures for racialized women in the GTA post-pandemic, or as the pandemic goes on in a different way. And it's been really healing. There's been a lot of healing circles and discussions, And I feel like it's really equipping people to go out and continue to do the work in the community that we've already been doing around keeping our communities healthy and safe.